everyone, welcome back to YouTube. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about my journey with meditation and how meditation truly changed my life. So give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you are here for this topic today. Leave me a comment below if you've tried meditation or not. And remember, this is just my experience, but I have not met a person ever that has not said, if they've tried meditation, that it's changed their life and in a way that they can't go without it. And that's really how I feel. I really cannot imagine my life without meditation. Kind of in the same way I can't imagine my life without working out and being physically active and moving my body. I started meditating seriously last November. So
November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July.
8 months ago, last November, I went to a meditation retreat with Dr. Joe Dispenza in November of last year in Cancun, Mexico. And I had been following the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza for a couple of years. I had watched all of his YouTube videos, all of his online kind of appearances and interviews. I just really dove into his work a lot. I started reading some of his books, and I kind of dove into some of his meditations. They were really long. I was used to meditating. Before that, I would do these 21-day meditation challenges that I would find, online that would be for free, but they would be maybe 15 or 20-minute meditations. But when I started getting into the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, a lot of his meditations were really long, and they were 45 minutes, an hour plus, and it was really a challenge for me. But when I went to Cancun, Mexico for this retreat, I was there for 7 days and we were meditating all day long. We were learning a little bit, but we were meditating for long periods of time. Hour minimum. We were doing some from 4 o'clock in the morning till 8:30, 4.5 hour long meditations, seated meditation, some lying down, walking meditations, so many amazing meditation techniques. And I was truly transformed from that experience. And I knew the power of repetition, and I knew that if I wanted to continue to see the results from meditation, I had to continue to do it regularly. And so I brought that practice home, and I just continued to meditate regularly, over and over again, daily, sometimes multiple times a day, for hours a day, honestly, because I was at a point in my life where I really felt oh man, never in my whole entire life had I ever felt so in full surrender mode, where it was just wow, the world has flipped upside down in the most, unimaginable way, right? And I came back from Austria to America, moved back after living abroad for 6 years, had gone through a breakup from a serious relationship, and was living back home with my parents, trying to figure out what my next step was going to be. And so much comes with that, right? So many dancing thoughts. And I'm a person who gets more anxious. I worry about the future. I think about oh my gosh, all the things that need to get done, all the things that we need to make progress towards, all the goals that I want to reach. I don't really think about the past, to be honest. It's gone, it's done, what's done is done. But I have for many years really intensely worried about the future and would get these anxiety attacks. And I was starting to, through meditation and through learning the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, understand, that our emotional well-being and how we're feeling will manifest itself in our bodies. And any dis-ease that's happening up here can fully and will manifest in our bodies. And so I just really started to feel tension in my back, hips, knees, and just physical ramifications of being stressed out. I had a really bad anxiety attack and experience when I was in Austria trying to come back to America during quarantine. We were really isolated, and I was just kept getting emails that my flight was getting canceled and I couldn't go back to visit my family. And it was really overwhelming for me. And so I had a very intense anxiety attack, and in that month I had 2 periods. My hair was falling out, the whole 9 yards. But I knew what my body was telling me. I was very aware that I had to make some changes with how I was dealing with my emotional well-being if I wanted to continue to show up as the coach that I wanted to be, as the woman that I wanted to be, and just overall just showing up in a way that I call doing what sets your soul on fire and just feels freaking good. And so I knew like, okay, something's off. This is happening once a quarter. It's not like every single day. And I kind of brushed it off as that, but it was just like totally taking a toll on my physical body as well. And so, like I said, I started bringing that practice home with me regularly, and I was showing up, do the work, all the breathing techniques, all the meditations, not every single day, but almost every single day, and just feeling it when I wasn't doing it. And, you know, it was just different. This time was different because it wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to meditate before I go to bed in a relaxed position. So I feel super relaxed with pillows all over me and like I could almost fall asleep. It's like, no, I'm going to sit in a seated position, upright, like focusing, my awareness, focusing on being aware and just being in the present moment and having, to work for that. And, Dr. Joe always says like taming the dog that is the body, it's like sit, stay, your body wants to move. You feel like an itch. This one little hair is like wiggling and you can feel it, like all the things. So it really was work. It was work in a way that I was just like, man, and so over the process, you ask yourself, is it working? Is it working? Like, is what I'm doing working? And, through all of this, just really working on one thought at a time, capturing one thought at a time, reframing it, refocusing it, not all the stuff I have to do, the stuff I get to do. I've changed words and I've shared this before. If you guys have been following me for a while, if not, I never say I'm super busy. I say my schedule is full and abundant. And I work on that micro level of words to like really change and transform and like work on that a lot. But when I added on meditation to that on top of it, it was just like clarity on top of clarity. It was just, everything was starting to click. And recently, I haven't shared this story with a lot of people, but just because, I want to. It's just, it's a recent experience. And so I share this with people. I've shared this with a couple people that I trust, and now I want to share it with you guys. But it was just such a successful moment, and maybe you guys can relate. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only person that has ever experienced this. I don't think so. But when you have an anxiety attack or something similar, it's like your mind and your body come to the party. It's like a physical thing, but it's also a mental thing. And I had come back from an event or one of our content creation retreats, a very intense work environment, but also just awesome. It's a retreat that I host every quarter. And it was really hot. We were in the desert, so it was like super hot, like 120 degrees. I started to feel a little bit allergy, kind of sick, whatever. So I was like working hard and not feeling my best. And it was just a lot of stress on my body. And I think in my head, I was also like, oh, I want to do good. We're at this retreat out of all times to not feel good, whatever. So I was feeling really, my body and my mind were all over the place. So I came home from that retreat feeling super great, productive. I did my best. Everyone had a great time. Yeah, it sucked. I didn't feel good, but like nonetheless. But I think my body and my brain were just really stressed out. They were just stressed out about being stressed out, because that's just what my brain does sometimes. So I was laying on my bed, and I just was at this point where it was like my body was going through the motions of an anxiety attack. Like I could just feel my back start to cramp up. It's like a mom tiger is like biting on the back of her cub. Like that's how it felt. Like something was pulling, in my back there, in my shoulder blades, like my rhomboids and traps, just like everything was contracting. And, but in my mind, I was like, no, like everything's fine. Life is good. Like just you take an Epsom salt bath. I kept saying, out loud the things I was grateful for. I kept saying things out loud like I am love, and like I love this life. I am not anxious. I have nothing to be anxious about. Like I am happy, like just like whatever I could get out. And it's just like, it was so crazy because it was like as if my mind and my body were used to being a date to the anxiety party. And it was like my mind stood my body up. My mind was like, ain't nobody. We've been meditating. We've been doing, our self-improvement talks. We've been loving on ourselves. We've been healing. Like we're not going there, and it was so freaking awesome. I mean, and then the next day I woke up feeling like I got hit by a truck because my whole body was just like, and I just felt like I did like a lot of eucalyptus oils so I could like do a lot of deep breathing. I did a lot of foam rolling. I got a massage, like It's like, what do? You just take care of yourself, and tune into your body and trust what your body's telling you. And so even though that was like an intense experience, I was super happy. Like I was like, okay, my mind didn't go there. And now it's important for me to make sure I take care of my physical body. So it's like I'm not working out too much, putting too much workout stress on my body, and then, normal stress, life stress, work stress, try to minimize the stress there. So I've been walking a lot. I've been doing a lot of stretching, a lot of dancing, still lifting weights, but not 6 days a week, like 3, sometimes maybe 4 days a week, but usually 3. And it's just been a good experience of me getting to know my body and mind, and telling my body, hey, you're not my mind. You're not gonna like take on this false narrative that sometimes creeps up in my head on repeat. I'm gonna try to fix that, but in the meantime, like, you need to stop reacting to body. It was like this. Such a great experience. It's just been so much work though, I mean, I people, like, there's been, studies that show that people who meditate on, working out and getting healthy and fit and improving their health, get results there. And that's totally possible, not to say you're going to, meditate your way to a 6-pack. I don't know. But like, there's been a lot of people who have reversed things, through meditation and through self-healing. But what I mean is, there's been studies too that have shown people who maybe don't do a lot of working out, but still do a lot of meditation, focusing on improving their body and improving their health, getting a lot of results. And sometimes people say like, oh, if it was that easy, everybody would do it. Well, like, it's not easy to meditate and to sit and focus on one thing and reversing that. Like, it is, I'm like, it's easier to work out. It really is easier to work out than it is to sit down and meditate, but it's so much more worth it when you're doing both. Like, if you get on a good workout routine, moving your physical body, appreciation for your physical body, and then learning to love how you feel and forgetting about how you look, and just leaning into, the landscape that is our mind, and taking one thought at a time and exploring that, and just learning to kind of, bring that union in a healthier way using meditation. It's just been like life-changing. Like, I get so excited about the uncertainty. I get excited about the unknown. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in our future. None of us do. And like, if anything, this past year showed us that. But we can either choose to be afraid, or we can be excited, and we can choose to show up every day with joy and being, present in the moment, and shining bright and being that love. And yeah, and people ask me, how long should you meditate for? And I don't really have an answer for that. I feel like the longer the better. But one thing that Dr. Joe says that I always think about too when I'm meditating, he's like, don't get up from your meditation like until you're just so in love with life that you just like, don't get up when you're feeling like anxious, whatever, like until you just are so, and sometimes that's after 15 minutes for me, sometimes after 45 minutes, sometimes that's after a few sessions of like so many crazy thoughts and you just can't do it and it's not working that day. And then it clicks and you're like, so, you just have that moment where you're like, yes, okay. So anyways, that could be different for everybody, but it takes practice. So anyways, that's my experience with meditation. And like, thank you for letting me be, holding a safe space for me and letting me share this with you, because yeah, it's like, it's something that I haven't talked a lot about, like publicly or on social media. It's something that I share with my friends, and I've gone, talked a lot about my meditation and whatever, but not really my journey with some of these anxious feelings and thoughts, and how I've reversed a lot of them. And it's a continuous pursuit. And so meditation will always be inside of my toolbox, and it's something that I bring to my clients and I'm learning more about and growing more in. So yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know about your experience with meditation and any other questions you might have about meditation. And if you've meditated and you've had experiences where it's just changed your life and you've loved it, or I don't know, maybe it's not working for you. It's not working for you yet. It will if you keep showing up for it. So yeah, let's talk about it in the comments, you guys. I really appreciate you. Have a beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Make sure you get the notifications. All the things, okay? Take a moment, go to the channel, like, subscribe, notifications, leave a comment. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.